COVID-19 has caused a monumental impact to Australia and the world. While Australia only has a small number of infections compared to other parts of the world, thanks to us having a more spread out population, staying at home, overwhelmingly, and a government that was pushed into doing a half-decent job for once, there will still be massive economic impacts on an economy that was almost certainly heading toward recession before the pandemic. But what have the big employers done to look after their workers? Let's have a look at McDonald's. So a couple of weeks ago, McDonald's proposed some changes to the Fast Food Industry Award. The changes were backed by the Australian Industry Group, headed by this guy, who pushed for the reduction of penalty rates and tried to defend this wage thief over here. They were also backed by the SDA, which has been notorious for selling out workers' rights and was the main reason McDonald's workers were not receiving penalty rates for years. Pretty much the worst union to ever exist. These new changes will remove set shifts for part-time employees and will force employees to take annual leave if their store has to be shut down because of COVID-19. It will also result in people losing some overtime. On top of that, part-time workers can have their hours reduced down to a minimum of 8 and then be offered additional shifts beyond their set roster without the overtime that would usually attract. These changes were proposed supposedly because of the restrictions that COVID-19 would have on business and to keep more workers in a job. What a crock. Fast food has been one of the only areas of the economy that hasn't suffered. Although store-bought items are down, takeaway and delivery are well up and easily accounting for the losses. So these proposed changes have been made to further cut the pay rate of their workers, just so they can make even more money with the excuse that COVID-19 is severely impacting their profitability. And while they use this excuse to cut staff pay, some workers are now being infected with COVID-19. 2 McDonald's stores in Melbourne have reported cases of the virus, and a further 12 had to be shut down after a delivery driver tested positive. Meanwhile, McDonald's is distributing hand sanitizer that is not effective enough to kill COVID-19. According to an article by the ABC, experts say that hand sanitizer needs to be more than 60% ethanol to be effective. Now, what is the effectiveness of the hand sanitizer McDonald's provides? 30 to 60%. Ooh, just missed the minimum standard. Oh well, better luck next time. Now, this isn't to say that the outbreak was caused by not having the proper sanitizer. That would be very difficult to prove. However, McDonald's failed to reduce the risks of an outbreak of the virus. This is not the only time where Maccas did not provide safe working conditions in regards to COVID-19. There are a whole lot more examples of dodgy stuff not involving COVID too, but that's for another time. They were also late to install plexi shields at the front counter. Many stores only got shields put in after the infection rates dropped. Some of the plexi shields are very small too. How effective do you think this shield is? They also released this video showing off all of their safety protocols, and there's an employee who fails to dry his hands after washing them. So now, there are over 1,000 workers who have been forced to isolate for 2 weeks. How is it fair that McDonald's did not take the proper procedures and now 1,000 workers are getting no pay? All workers must be paid for the hours that they would have worked over the next 2 weeks, and casuals should be paid the average hours they worked over a period of time. Last 3 months should be appropriate. But what will actually happen is that they will get nothing except the annual leave that they might have saved, which was totally meant to be used on the odd chance that someone has to be quarantined during a global pandemic. And when they get back, they will have reduced hours and reduced overtime. It's okay now though, because McDonald's finally decided to provide hand sanitizer that actually works. Took you long enough. Wait, you have to buy it? I didn't know you had to donate to the McDonald's charity in order to be safe at work. This is completely outrageous. But who is going to fight them? Well, considering the SDA, with the backing of the ACTU, agreed with the proposed changes to overtime cuts, it seems like no one will. Except RAFFWU. Only RAFFWU stood up for Maccas workers. Without them, the proposed changes would have passed straight away with no opposition, none whatsoever. They managed to stop some of the changes, but sadly could not stop all of them. Now, more than ever, us Maccas workers need to stand up together. The more workers join RAFFWU, the more power we have, and then we can force McDonald's to drop these harmful changes. Make them provide effective hand sanitizer and proper plexi screens, and push them to provide sick leave for every worker. We can't have companies benefiting off a crisis and screwing their workers over in the process. They need to look after all of their employees, and judging by their actions so far, it is us, the workers, who have to force them to do it.